Hello and welcome along to Carrying On, my personal look at my music collection and music in general. And today I want to do a video on my favorite records, my favorite albums from 2025. And yeah, most of the new music that I listen to is on Spotify. So that's why I've called this a Spotify list because I'm not pretending that I bought any of these records this year. I'm not going to be holding up vinyl copies that I spent lots of money on, especially living here in Thailand. I don't have a local record shop I can go and support these local artists in. But yeah, so I mainly buy old records. I still buy vinyl, but yeah, it's secondhand and old records. That's my thing. But I still love new music and new albums, and the streaming age has meant I can keep totally up to date with all the new releases, which is really great. And I love putting together this little end of year list of the albums that have really stuck with me throughout 2025. It's not a long list, there are only six records on this list. I'm always rather skeptical of people who have like their 30, the top 30 albums of the year. And it's like in at number 17 with a bullet is this record that I last played, back in March 1.5 times. And that's not for me like a real, best of list. These, in my opinion, should be the albums that you really love, that you really want to go out and bat for, that you send to your friends, that you play not just a couple of times, but you play dozens of times, and you play it when you're cooking, you play it in the car, you get addicted to these records. Those are the these are the records which for me should be in an end of year list. The records that and for me these are the best recommendations, the personal recommendations the albums that I have really loved, and so maybe you will really love too if you haven't um, heard these. Anyway, let's make a start, shall we? And my first record. So this is number six on my list. These are all great records. I could change around the order of a lot of these, but yeah, let's go. Number six. First of all, is Joe Armon-Jones with All the Quiet Part Two. Great cover. A lot of these have great artwork, actually, I have to say, and this is another one here for kind of this building burning down by the coast and with a kind of DJ and a kind of music studio. But Joe Armon-Jones, of course, he's the keyboardist in Ezra Collective. So he's quite well known. I've never been a huge fan of Ezra Collective like myself, but this album, as soon as I heard like the first notes of this record, it got me. It was like, oh, this is cool. This is a little bit different to Ezra Collective. Um, it's less of a kind of Afro vibe to this, and this is much more, especially the first song on this, "Acknowledgement is Key," is very dubby. But there's a dub element and a really good low bass vibe to the whole of this record. And yeah, there's some vocals on here. Hack Baker on track one, and Ashabar on track three, Westmoreland, which is a really great tune. Um, uh, Paladin of Sound and Circumstance, track five, is another. I really enjoy that one as well. It's funky. There's obviously he's a jazz keyboardist. He really, he's one of the best modern jazz keyboardists, especially working in Britain today. Joe Armon-Jones, and apparently this record there's actually two parts. This is part two. Part one also pretty good, but it didn't really catch my ear like part two does. But it's a collection of music I think he's been working on for 4 or 5 years, and he's put them together into this two-part collection. And yeah, really good. Reminds me a bit actually of the Yusef Days album from a couple of years ago, Black Classical Music. It's got that same kind of funky vibe with really great drumming as well throughout this record. Some really nice collaborations with Green Tea Peng and Yasmin Lacey. Yeah, this is a really good record. I really enjoyed I really enjoyed playing this, especially as I've never really got Ezra Collective, and I felt like I was missing something here. I don't really never, but this, yes, this I really enjoyed this dubby, jazzy, soulful. Um, uh, quite dark in a way, but yeah, but I just find it a really enjoyable record. It's a great sounding record as well. Apparently, all recorded like analog, and yeah, turn it up. It sounds great. The drums are really well recorded, and the bass. Yeah, funky, great record. Joe Armon-Jones, All the Quiet Part Two. So that's number six. Number five, then we go to people who know me and my music taste will not be surprised that Greg Foat makes this list again. He has every year for the last few years. And this is my Greg Foat album of choice for this year, Midnight Wave, which is actually uh, um, a, a largely vocal album. I think for the first time, actually, he's ever made a vocal record with this guy, I think a young guy called Forrest Law, who sings on most of these songs and does a really good job. I really enjoyed this album. There's still some lovely instrumental interludes on this record, like the Undertow, which is great, and then in the second part, uh, Waves of Bliss Part Two, Midnight Wave Part Two. You know, they have lovely kind of instrumental, typical Greg Foat waves of synths and bass, and it's fantastic and blissed out. But yeah, there's also really great like upbeat vocal tracks that start the record. Imaginary Magnitude is kind of almost like acid jazz style, uh, like from like early 90s. And then I Vibrate sounds like early Level 42 in the vocals. It's brilliant. I really enjoy it. Waves of Bliss Part One, the way that song starts with this deep wave of synths, it's just beautiful. And the vocals are really good too by Forrest Law. Um, yeah, this is a really great Greg Foat album, partly because it's a novelty in a way, because it's a vocal record, but um, yeah, it's a really good record. I've really enjoyed. I'm still playing it now, 6 months later. I've gone back to it, and it's improved with age as well. It's a record I've come back to and thought, yeah, no, this is a really good record, and it's on the list at number five for me. So, moving on to number four. This is one of my musical discoveries of the year, actually. Is a guy called Ben Sidran, and the album is Are We There Yet? Live at the Sunside, a venue in Paris, France. And yeah, I think he plays there often. He's certainly pretty popular in France, I think. And for some reason, this is a guy who had passed me by, a fantastic jazz vocalist. He's been around since the early 70s when he was making some pretty cool kind of jazz funk kind of records. And I like them. I haven't quite connected with them like I have connected with his later stuff, which is really well compiled on this live album from this year. And wow, this was the album that got me into him. Actually, it was I got a shout out to Giles Peterson, who posted something on Facebook about this guy. He did an interview with him, and I was like, Ben Sidran, I don't know much about him. And this was the first album I clicked on Spotify. It's his album from this year, and it was like, wow, this is fantastic. This guy, what a great songwriter. And he's had a bit of an Indian summer really over the last probably 10 years. He's 81, I think now. But through his 70s, he's really come of age as a songwriter. And some of these songs are absolutely top draw. The title track, Are We There Yet? Kind of existential tune. I might be wrong. Some like a brilliant kind of song about where we are politically in the world somehow right now. Picture Him Happy, a brilliant song about Sisyphus pushing the rock up the hill forever, and you have to picture him happy because he's got a gig. Really great kind of existential lyrics, which really make you think. But sing along, great tunes, a great jazz band. He's backed by, and wow, how did I how have I missed this guy? But yeah, he's got a big back catalogue of stuff, which I've gone through some of it, and yeah, certainly his later albums really I've gone through, and there's great stuff on his later albums. Yeah, another track here called "Don't Cry for No Hipster." That's on "Picture Him Happy," which is a yeah, a really good album. But this live album really brings together some of his best tracks from the last 10 years, and it's really well recorded. Sounds fantastic. Yeah, I really do recommend this for anyone who loves jazz vocals and actually anyone who loves really good songwriting is going to enjoy this record. Ben Sidran is in there at number 4. So let's go on to the top three. And yeah, I guess the one, rather like Greg Foat, anyone who knows my taste in music would have thought maybe the Stereolab album would make it onto the list. And it definitely has. I mean, Stereolab are one of my favorite bands, but there was no guarantee that this was going to be on my list. I mean, some of the later albums have not done it for me since their kind of imperial phase, up to probably Cobra, which and you know that Dots and Lutes Cobra phase, which is for me their imperial phase. That's a long time ago now. It's 25 years ago. But this absolutely reels back the years. This is a great album. It's consistently excellent, actually. And it brings back some of that kind of, for me, my favorite period of Stereolab. That slightly kind of um, prog rocky, art rock kind of element they brought to their music uh, with Dots and Loops and Cobra, like like quite jazzy as well. There's really nice jazz arrangements in here. But yeah, I really enjoy this kind of, yeah, post rock as well. Probably the word I'm looking for there, with the kind of tortoise influence, which I really loved in those records around Dots and Loops and Cobra. And yeah, definitely brings back some of those vibes. But there's a mix of, I mean, there's also kind of stuff like Electrified Teeny Bop, which is, you know, that kind of upbeat, more poppy Stereolab as well. There's great tunes in here. Transmuted Matter, what a great song that is. Melodies, A Wound, and Immortal Hands. I mean, these are really great, excellent, top drawer Stereolab songs, and a top drawer album from start to finish. This is a proper album. You can listen from start to finish and never get bored. It's really interesting. Some great vocals again, like by Laetitia Sadier, but she's always great. But yeah, they really, they took their time, putting a really great record together that they can go out and tour and play live as well, which they're doing a lot. Yeah, could have been number one, but yeah, I've just uh yeah, I've got two more which I really want to share as well. So it's been a good year. And number two is a record that I wasn't expecting to be on my end of year list, and it's Bruce Springsteen. And it's a record called Twilight Hours, which was I think it was album 6 on tracks 2, this huge collection of records which never got released for some reason. This one never saw the light of day when it was made. It's been lying in the vaults probably for about 20 years, but wow, this one really hit me, particularly because I'm not a Bruce Springsteen fan, to be honest. Never have been. Never got into his music. Uh, uh, Really, not my bag. Even when I was listening to more rock music, back in the '90s, he never quite did it for me. So this was a surprise. But wow, the moment I heard the lead single, Sunday Love, which is track 1 on the album, it was like, wow, this track is amazing. And if the rest of the album is like this, we're in for a treat. And we were. I mean, Sunday Love is a special song, and I absolutely love it. And maybe that's hard to top. But there's some great songwriting on this record, and he's leaning into a kind of his jazzy kind of crooner kind of sound here, kind of Tom Waits, and Frank Sinatra, Burt Bacharach. These are not names that you normally, associate with Bruce Springsteen at all, especially Burt Bacharach. But wow, late in the evening, track 2, beautiful. These builds, amazing, epic tunes. Two of Us, Lonely Town sounds like early Tom Waits. Brilliant. Twilight Hours is great, the title tune. High Sierra, wow, what a great song! What a great story song, which Bruce Springsteen's well known for. But wow, what a great song that is. I mean, Another You, Dinner at Eight, romantic, beautiful songs. And it ends with this kind of Burt Bacharach type tune called Follow the Sun, which is just, it absolutely could be on a Burt Bacharach album. It's just beautifully arranged. I love it. What a huge and wonderful surprise Bruce Springsteen gave us with this particular album. Yeah. I mean, there's a whole load of as I said, I think there's 7 albums there on tracks too. And I'm not a Bruce Springsteen completist or even fan really. So, but there's a lot there if you want on tracks too. But this is the album for me. You have to scroll down to album 6, Twilight Hours. Um, yeah, maybe this is the only Bruce Springsteen that I'm really album that I'm really going to connect with. But hey, that's enough. What a great album this is, Twilight Hours. But my number one album is something rather different, and it is Kofi Stone. All the flowers have bloomed. Again, what a brilliant cover this is for a hip hop record, and what a what a wonderfully refreshing voice Kofi Stone is in modern hip hop. Um, this album has a kind of flower concept going through the record, and you can see how this is not typical kind of macho hip hop at all. This is beautiful, sensitive, interesting, introspective uh, uh, hip hop of the very highest order, in my opinion. This record is fantastic. Kofi Stone actually comes from Selly Oak, from South Birmingham, not too far from where I originate from. I'm more from North Birmingham, yeah, but yeah, but so he's a Brummie, and the Brummie has made my favorite album of 2025, and it's just a really excellent record, and I think anyone who loves music, I mean, some people aren't huge hip hop heads, and I'm not a huge hip hop head myself, but sometimes hip hop really, when a really great album gets me, it really hits me hard, and this one has as well. It's so easy to listen to. You can put this on in the background if you want to, but there's loads of great little tunes and hooks in there. There's some great guests come on and provide like these fantastic choruses that just mesh so well with Kofi's brilliant rapping. He's got such an amazing flow. He's a very talented lyricist, but his flow is at times stunning. The speed at which he can rap, and but there's still a great clarity to his voice. The arrangements are great. There's a kind of soul vibe at times, almost kind of Marvin Gaye kind of soul vibe to this record at times. There's also, it reminds me a bit of, I think he is a Common fan. If you like Common, if you like the Roots, you're going to like this record. This is jazzy, soulful hip hop of, and really great songwriting. I mean, all the way from the start. Track 3, Water, which my daughter can sing along to now. I think it's the first of my kind of music which she can sing along to the chorus, which is always a good sign, I think. Water. Venice is brilliant. Um, Chamomile, that's also just that reminds me of LL Cool J, actually, a really cool song, Chamomile. Flowers Flow. I mean, wow, the flow on this that Kofi Stone gets going as a rapper is really impressive. Fantastic tune. But it goes all the way through, all the way through to Thorns towards the end, with Jacob Banks, who's a really interesting vocalist as well. He gets on there. Cactus is a really cool upbeat, kind of more kind of again accessible tune with a guy called Max Pope providing the hooks. But yeah, and there are hooks aplenty on this record. Um, and full respect to Kofi Stone for making a fantastic record, I think, which fully deserves to be my choice anyway. Very personal choice, my choice. Haven't seen this on any other end of year lists, which is a shame because I do really think this is a superb record. If this helps spread the word in even a small way, well, there we go. Kofi Stone, all the flowers have bloomed. So there we go. That's my take. They're my six favorite records of 2025. It's been a pretty good year. There's been, yeah, these are six records I really, really loved. And that's all you can ask for, isn't it? A handful of records that you add to your collection of albums that you love and will keep playing. I'll come back to these records in later years and it will remind me of this year, I think, of 2025. So yeah, well, thank you again for watching all my videos this year in 2025. I will be back again in 2026, but I wish you uh, 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 a Merry Christmas, and I look forward to seeing you next time in next year as I delve back probably into my record collection a bit more, go back into my own uh, uh, into my own collection of records, which is what I normally do on here. Maybe I'll add in some reviews like this of newer stuff as we go along next year. But yeah, thanks for watching, and that's all from me, Julian, here, uh, uh, here carrying on in Thailand. Bye for now.